And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Today's review is going to be of Mystery Rummy Murders in the Rue Morgue, which is the second game in the Mystery Rummy series. This game is based on a story by Edgar Allan Poe, which is about a murder that occurs, and it ends up that the murder is actually committed by an orangutan. And this game kind of follows that concept and tries to thematically include that into the game. That said, why don't we take a look at what you get and how the game plays. The first thing you get, as with all games, is an instruction booklet. Now, as you can see, this is a very small instruction booklet, in size-wise at least. It's got several pages, and the text is very tiny, but that's possibly the only complaint I really have about this rulebook. It's very well written, start to finish. You get theme, you get gameplay, and you even get a nice little glossary of terms and card functions that you can look through in case you have any questions. Really, this is much better than the Jack the Ripper rulebook in my first review for the Mystery Rummy series, and I'm much happier with the quality of the writing in this section. As usual with a card game, the second thing you get is a deck of cards. These cards are pretty nice. You can see they've got a nice gold finish on the back. They have the name of the game, and then on the other side you have your different colors and styles of cards. One thing that's a little confusing about this is that this deck of cards, unlike the first game in the series, is made of easy-to-shuffle cards. They're of decent quality, not great quality, but they're much easier to shuffle. You can perform an easy riffle shuffle, they're not as stiff, and you can really, even if you're not an avid card game player, take these out, shuffle them up, and be ready to play the game. Mystery Rummy Murders in the Rue Morgue focuses around a central card that's always in play called the orangutan card, which fits thematically with the description I gave you earlier of where the story comes from. The orangutan is essentially a hidden pile of cards that gets modified throughout the game, and the hidden cards are awarded to the player who is the first to go out in the round. They then take any cards that match any melds in play that they have and add them, as well as any complete melds, and add them to their score. Mystery Rummy Murders in the Rue Morgue includes several different colors of evidence cards, much like the other Mystery Rummy games. Here we have an example of an evidence card, exhibited by the magnifying glass in the upper left-hand corner of the card. This is a meld of an orange set of cards. Now, in Mystery Rummy Murders of the Rue Morgue, evidence cards actually have bonus features. And you can see in the lower left-hand corner, there is a diamond on these cards of a different color, in this case tan. Playing a meld of these cards and a meld of the tan cards will award you a bonus at the end of the round, which I'll discuss later. The matching meld here would be, as I said, the tan meld. You can see that this is an evidence card, as shown by the magnifying glass again, and that it melds for a bonus with orange cards. In addition to evidence cards, which give bonuses for melding other types of evidence cards, there are certain sets of evidence cards which do not give a bonus. For example, this red set. However, there are additional cards in the game which will give you bonuses for having either the red meld or other melds in play. In addition to evidence cards, like laid out here, Mystery Rummy Murders in the Rue Morgue, as with the other Mystery Rummy games, includes gavel cards, which are indicated by a gavel picture in the upper left-hand corner of the card. The first type of gavel card is the Brilliant Deduction card, which, as you can see, shows two different colors of evidence along its left-hand side. You may play this card whenever you have both of these melds in play, whether or not they're your melds or your opponent's melds. So, for example, if both of these were in play, one on each side of the table, the player with the Brilliant Deduction card, matching those colors, may put it into play and will score 7 points at the end of the round. Additionally, if you have both of these sets in your own play area, you will score 10 bonus points, because these two sets of cards show a bonus for matching to the other color. The second type of gavel card is the Prefect of Police, which allows you to put this card into play whenever you have a meld for Adolphe Laban in play. Playing this card gives you an additional 4 points at the end of the round, and red is the only meld that this applies to. The last two types of gavel cards are the Monsieur C. Auguste Dupin and Dupin's Help card. The first card allows you to search through the orangutan pile, looking at any hidden cards that have been placed throughout the game, and take one, placing it into your hand. This may allow you to get a card that can force you to make a meld, or that can allow you to make a meld, and put it into play. The second card allows you to draw either 2 cards from the top of the deck, or to search through the discard pile and take 1 card into your hand. On a player's turn, they must first either draw 1 card from the top of the deck, or 1 card from the discard pile and add it to their hand. For example, I will take this tan card and place it into my hand. Then on my turn, I have the choice of melding any amount of evidence cards that I like, as long as I have at least 3 of the same color. In this case, I will meld my 4 tan cards from my hand. Now in Rue Morgue, there's a special rule. Anytime you place a meld, you must take either the top card of the discard pile or the top card of the deck and place it underneath the orangutan, adding to the hidden cache of cards. You do get to look at the top card of the deck, showing only yourself, so in this case I would look and see that I have a gavel card here, and choose which one I would like to place underneath the orangutan. I'm going to place this card underneath there and continue on with my turn. Next, I would meld my orange set of cards since I have at least 3. Again, I would have to take either the top card of the discard pile or the top card of the deck and place it underneath the orangutan. Having these 2 melds in play provides bonus points, as the tan cards show orange as a bonus color, and the orange cards show tan as a bonus color. Additionally, on your turn, you have the option of playing 1 gavel card. In this case, I will play Monsieur C. Auguste Dupin, which allows me to search the orangutan and take any 1 card from underneath. I look through the cards that are underneath the orangutan, choose 1, and add it to my hand. Finally, on your turn, you must discard 1 card from your hand to the discard pile. At this point, it will become your opponent's turn. So here we have a mid-game scenario for Rue Morgue. On this side, we have a player who has melded 4 tan cards and 3 orange cards, which will provide bonus points at the end of the round as they complement each other in colors. Additionally, they have laid off 1 purple card off of the other player's purple meld. The other player has also melded 4 green cards and has melded 1 tan card off of the first player's tan meld. If the player here were to go out on this turn by discarding the last card to their discard pile, they would take the cards underneath the orangutan, adding them to their hand, and meld any of them that match any melds on the table. In this case, for example, the lightning rod card would be added to that player's score. So that's Mystery Rummy Rue Morgue in a nutshell. Now the game, it's got an interesting backstory, it really does, and it has an interesting concept with the orangutan, with the hidden cards that you're able to pull out of and put into, perhaps to, short your opponent a card, or to, gain one for yourself by taking one out. And it's really an interesting concept, it is. However, I'm not really sure if it adds anything too fantastic. Now, the game does have both a 2 and a 4-player option, the 4-player option being played in teams, where you share a play area with your partner, so it may be a little more interesting in the 4-player option, where you can pass cards back and forth and maybe even try and work out some type of meld with your opponent, or not with your opponent, but with your partner. But I'm not real sure if it's there all the way. This is a decent card game, don't get me wrong. It's not bad. I do enjoy it. It's pretty fun. It's very hard to find right now. It's been out of print for quite some time. But if I were going to go get a Mystery Rummy game, this may not be my first choice. That said, if you're a Mystery Rummy fan or a Rummy fan, I'd say this is probably a card game that you'd enjoy quite a bit.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Yeah?